Anybody who has a child with autism, um, the latest numbers from the CDC on autism are 1 in 88 children has autism now, and that's up from 1 in 5,000 in 1975 to 1 in 88 now, and 1 in 54 boys has autism now, and the trend is not diminishing. It's going straight up. So what does that tell you? At that rate, what is it going to be in 10 or 20 or 30 years from now if it went up that much in the last 20 to 30 years? Now in California, there's been a 700 to 800% increase in autism since 1990. That's in California. Now if you have a child with autism, you've probably been told a lot of different things and not been given any real answers as to what's going on. And just in looking into it on the internet, I've seen that there's ridiculous stories being told to the people who have children with autism. The most common thing that they're told is that there's not really an increase. It's just the way that we track autism, or other things like that it's genetic. And these things are simply ways to push you away and just say, don't worry about it. And nothing ever really gets done to address your concerns, and you're just told to deal with it and don't worry about it, and maybe it's this and maybe it's that. No real answers, and to not be alarmed, to just remain calm, and then to just give money to all these organizations that are supposedly researching it, and you're never given an answer. And meanwhile, we have these incredible numbers, this incredible spike in autism. But if you start looking at other diseases as well, you'll see there's a similar spike in virtually every disease in that same time frame. And the population is literally collapsing right in front of us, all around us. And we're given the same story, to just not worry about it, and to not get frustrated. I don't see how you can't get frustrated, because if you look at just about every other disease has a similar spike. I've looked at breast cancer, ADHD, obesity. The list goes on and on. Pick a disease and Google it, and you'll see that there's a similar spike in roughly the same time frame. And there's a corresponding deterioration in fertility. So the population is literally collapsing. And there's this massive die-off of bees. And you're never told that all these things are interconnected. So if you have a child with autism and you want answers, and you're concerned because at this rate, just this one disease of autism, not counting all the other diseases that are also spiking, and the deterioration in fertility in both sexes, deterioration in the ability to have healthy children. What this means is that within the next 100 years, the human race is going to be what they call non-viable. And what that means is it will not be a viable population. It will totally die off without massive interventions. And what will happen is you're going to be expected to pay for these interventions, or the whole population will be essentially blackmailed and held hostage to all these diseases. Because just take this one disease, autism. If it's spiking to this degree and it's not stopping, it's going to get to the point where just in this one disease, not including all the hundreds of other diseases, just this one disease of autism, you will not be able to have children without a great likelihood that it's going to have autism. That's just autism. That's not including all the other diseases that are also spiking. And you're not given any real answers. You're just basically told to shut up. And so what will happen is, without some kind of massive intervention, the human race will be non-viable. It will be, an individual will be so, individuals will not be able to breed and have healthy children, and they won't be able to physically survive without some kind of intervention. So just to answer these, when I went online and looked at all the news reports about this, what the mainstream news organizations all said was a set of talking points. And they would say, well, maybe, keyword maybe, it's the way we collect data has changed.